Oh, I'm not sure what time it is. It's probably very late. I'll flip over. So this is a very quick thing for anyone that happens to see this. This was my low battery on the phone. That's a good start. This was my first go at the what's called the belt lifter on a Kirby vacuum cleaner. In fact, I've got a couple of Kirby vacuum cleaners behind me that I'll very quickly take you to. So these are some later versions, but in the Mr. Mum movie, this belt lifter part is off the original vacuum. I can't get one that would fit because the vacuum that we're modifying is different. And it's had a new piece that's been made for the lamp because the vacuum in the original film didn't have a lamp in it. So some alterations have had to be made, and I've had to try and 3D print one. So here's the original. Well, this is the first attempt. This was a CAD attempt. Since I've made this, probably end of last year, I've got a little bit better with Fusion 360. So I've had a look and found this image online. Now I've been trying to sort of scale this as best I can to get proportions right. Basically what I need is a dimple on the back that will go through the original hole in the vacuum cleaner, and I need a screw hole there so I can actually have a piece behind it to sort of clamp it in place. It doesn't do anything other than be decorative. It'll get painted up and it'll have some brown contact over it because this was normally covered in a brown sticker on the original vacuum. So what I've tried really hard to kind of get is this opening, this sort of oval type shape opening. I've tried to get that in the right spot. Obviously a countersunk hole or a counterbored hole that I can put a screw in so I can clamp the thing onto the vacuum cleaner base. And then I've tried really hard to get this sort of chin protrusion. It's not perfect, but with various sort of extrusions and filleting, I've done my best to be able to get this sort of rounded over profile and have a bit of a chin at the bottom of it. Also, these upper pieces would actually need to be cut off because the vacuum that we're using is different, and the hood is being reused off the actual donor vacuum, so those two pieces wouldn't be able to be there, which is kind of why I'd started with this. So this has got like a plug on the back of it that would index into the hole that was left in the vacuum cleaner. This hole would actually have a lever behind that would grab the belt in the vacuum cleaner and would clamp this thing to it. There'd also be like a spring clip behind it, but anyway, you don't need to know that. So I'll swap to Fusion if I can get my Alt tab right. So here we go. This is my Fusion design. I'll just flip it over. So it's far from perfect. Certainly all the proportions are not correct, but what I have got is I have a hole that should be centralized, but the more I look at it, the less I think it is. It was supposed to be centralized. Yeah, the more you can see it there, it's definitely not, so I'll have to edit that feature just to make sure that it is. I've got this, I've got a protrusion on the back to try and index into the hole. It is, it's got quite a proud lip on it now, and I have done my best with that chin on the bottom there. So I guess the next thing will be to edit this feature and try and redimension it. I had actually put in a spot there, but what I might do is actually just get rid of that, go back to my sketch and just put a cut there. If I do a cut all the way through and then a cut over the top part way through, that's probably the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to try and do that. Should I try and do that on camera? Let's see if I have the skills. So what I am going to do is I'm going to undo that feature. Right. And then I'm going to spin this around. So, no, there's still a hint of that feature there. Okay, right. So now over this, if I create a new sketch, I'll create it on here. And I've still, this is my reference point that I put there. so that I could do something with it. So I'm just trying to see over the phone, sorry. We're going to put a circle there of about 3.5 millimeters, so it's clearance for an M3 screw. Then what I'll do is I will finish the sketch and I will cut that. I'll extrude. Cutting is just extruding to the negative, so if I do -5, it cuts all the way through, and I can see my reference point there is still there. So what I'll do now is I'll flip this around to the front, and I will start another sketch on this face, and I'm going to create another circle right from that as my origin point. It's going to be a 5mm circle, and then I'm going to finish that sketch, zoom in a little bit so it's a bit easier to see. Then I'm going to extrude this area, and I'm going to extrude that by a distance of -2.5, and what I get there is a little shoulder that I can basically have the head of the screw sitting in, and then I'll just make a piece on the outside that will clamp this to the actual aluminium chassis. So also make sure that I save as I'm going, because that would be handy. I'm thinking as well that maybe on this profile, this is rounded off. So what I'm thinking I should do, at least on the front, is put a bit of a fillet on that shape. So what I can do is go, sorry, I'll zoom back out a bit. If I go fillet, and I fillet this profile here, and I should fillet it probably by, I'd say 2mm. Is that alright? Just to give it that sort of rounded look. It sort of matches in a little bit better with everything else. I don't know if I should fillet that or not. I think because this is all going to be covered up, I think it's probably okay as it is, and I probably don't need to fillet it on the back. On the back I'm pretty happy. What I might even do though, I might have a small fillet on here in case this isn't in the right spot, because there was a lot of trial and error that went into this to make sure this was in the right spot. So maybe a slight bevel on there would make it easier to index, but this is smaller than this one, so hopefully it won't be too bad. Anyway, it looks like all the viewers have gone for now, but there you go. The joys of making prop vacuum cleaners. I think it looks okay. I know it's not perfect. This could probably go up a bit more. This chin at the bottom could certainly be bigger, and a bigger bevel, but it was dictated, if you can see it over here, there's sort of a larger lip on the outside than the inside. Really, if I'd done them both 2.5, I might have got this a little bit more even, but there we go. I probably should have gone for 3 on the inside and 2 on the outside. Live and learn, right? Now I've got to go to my expert file transfer system and send this to myself in Facebook Messenger, and then go out and print it. Oh, hello, I hear bogans. Alright, be well all. I'll see you around.